everything that I would be looking to do if I was trying to get into bodybuilding in 2025, or just change my physique and have physique goals as a priority for myself in 2025. This will be a bit of a long one, so sit down, relax, grab yourself a drink, grab yourself something to eat, and let's run through what I think are the most important parts to getting into bodybuilding, getting into a physique development phase. All right, we're all bodybuilders. We don't all want to be looking like a bodybuilder, you could say. All right, but any of us that go to the gym, any of us that are training to change the way that we look, we're building the body, we're all bodybuilders. But I understand that there's like a specific bodybuilder versus someone who's not a bodybuilder. You know what I mean? And obviously I'm a bodybuilder, so this channel is talking about bodybuilding specifically, and you know, working our way towards the stage, or not even towards the stage, but just living that bodybuilder lifestyle, you know. And I'm still getting very used to it. I'm still very young. I'm 23, but I've been living that life a long time, and I want to give you as much advice as I can towards that. If you're looking to get into it, or you are in it and you've started it but you're having struggles of knowing what to do with yourself. And big thing for me that I missed out on, you know, a lot of what I talk about on here is the mistakes I've made over the years. A big thing for me would be making use of those younger years as much as you possibly can. And even though it might go against the grain of what you might want to do, it'll be worth it in the long run. All right, so in today's video, we're going to break down step by step the different parts to bodybuilding and getting into bodybuilding, in my opinion. If there's anything that I missed, do drop them in the comments below and we'll make more videos on it. And again, any videos you want to see, drop them in the comments below and let me know as well. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I appreciate everyone who is tuning in. I'm putting as much effort as I can into these videos and throughout my prep as well. I'm currently 18 weeks out from my first ever show. So tune into the prep videos as well, as they're, you know, ticking along now as we're getting that little bit closer. So we're going to go through the whole setup and run through it, and each, you know, part to it, I suppose you could say. I've got a couple of notes written down here, to be fair. First time in a long time. And the first thing I want to start off with, obviously, is the goal that you have at hand, right? And what is that goal? You know, establish what goal you have and where it is you want to be in 6 months' time, a year's time, 5 years' time, you know. And again, we're not going to know exactly where we want to be in 5 years' time, but we probably know where we want to be in a year's time, right? And again, with that, time flies. Time absolutely flies. So what we're going to be doing here on a daily, weekly, monthly basis is going to absolutely fly by, right? And in a year's time, this video is going to be a year old, all right? And it'll absolutely fly by. So we want to pick what goal we have, whether that goal right now is to gain muscle, whether that goal is to lose fat. I know you might possibly, getting into it, might want to try and do both, which is a possibility as well. You might want to do a photo shoot, you might want to hop on stage. Pick that goal that you have, right? And from this video as well, right, what I would recommend you doing, if you're actually taking stuff away from this, get yourself a little notepad. If you're watching this on TV or something, you've got your phone in your hand, write down a couple of notes, okay? Any questions that you might have, get them in the comments below, or message me over on Instagram and we'll have a little chat about it. But that's the first and foremost thing. You want to pick a goal there and a goal that we want to work towards. We can build everything else off of that. All right. Next thing we go into is the phases. So from that goal that we've decided, we're obviously going to pick a phase that we're going to go into. Now in bodybuilding, multiple different phases. Obviously the two that we already know of and what we mostly know of is bulking and cutting. So a gaining phase or a dieting phase, one or the others. And in the middle there we have maintenance phases, body recomps, but the two overhanging ones there are bulking and cutting. And if you are just starting out, okay, I'd love for everyone to be able to just straight away be on that bulking side of things, okay? If you are in a position where you know body fat levels are low enough, okay, and you want to build a serious amount of size and you're just starting out, we want to be on this side of the fence, okay, getting ourselves into a bulk, okay? And again, this is for everyone, not just people who are looking to bulk, but for people who are looking to cut as well, all right? Because with bodybuilding, most of the principles are the exact same. It just depends what we're doing with certain things at certain times, especially the diet, all right, and expenditure. And what we're doing with those things and what level they're at. All right, if you have that little bit more body fat, you're a little bit more self-conscious of body fat, maybe you don't like taking your top off in public or around the missus because confidence is that little bit lower, knowing that you have a little bit of extra body fat hanging around there, you know, a position I've spent myself most of my life, to be completely honest with you, having higher body fat, we might want to get straight into the cutting side of things. But we're going to pick one or the other, all right, and dedicate the time needed to either of those phases to get yourself into the other phase. All right, bodybuilding is a long process and a game of longevity of going between multiple different phases for the majority of people. All right, it's not always going to be bulking and it's not always going to be cutting. All right, and some people again will be like, I love to be cutting, and then other people will be like, I love to be dieting. But then when you're dieting, you want to be bulking, and when you're bulking, you want to be dieting. Again, it's an uncomfortable game for majority of people, majority of the time, because you're going to the extremes with a lot of stuff. But at the beginning, right, we're just getting used to all this stuff, right? We're just getting used to our training, our nutrition, recovery, you know, all these different things, and you want to enjoy it. First and foremost, it needs to be enjoyable, all right? The three main things that I look for with setting up any plan for any person is enjoyment, sustainability, adherability, if that's a word. A plan that first and foremost you enjoy, all right? A plan that you can sustain, and a plan that you can adhere to on a daily basis. Okay, so we picked what phase we're going into. Next thing will be training. All right, you might be training already, you might be just getting into training. Different things you can look at with training then as well. Whether you're bulking, whether you're cutting, training should look the same, all right? The exact same in terms of training frequency, training volume, training intensity, the training split. Everything there should look the exact same whether you're bulking, whether you're cutting, okay? First thing there, we look at like our training frequency and our training split. How much time can you give to training every single week? And I know when we're young, we might have a little bit more time available. We might be able to give the whole week to training. But we also need to think about recovery at the same time and think of longevity. You need to pick a split there at the beginning that you can get done every single week consistently. So that might mean just starting out doing between 3 and 4 sessions a week. Okay, your body is going to be very, very sensitive to training and very easily grow, okay, and very easily make progress and change from everything that we're going to be doing here and everything I'm going to explain in this video. So it might be a case of starting out training 3 to 4 days a week, getting the most out of those sessions and using the rest of the week to recover and use as rest days. So pick what split will work best, what training frequency will work best, I should say, first, and then we can see what split will work best off that. If we're training 3 days a week, it might mean you're training upper, lower, full body. It might mean you're training 3 full body sessions. Everyone's different. You might do upper, lower, upper. Okay, everything is going to look completely different for everyone. If you're training 4 days a week, you might do upper, lower, upper, lower. You might do push, pull, legs, upper. Okay, it's different for absolutely everyone. You can pick a split that works best for you. 5 days a week, again, the more days you have available there, the more nitty gritty you can kind of get with it. My split, for example, I train 5 days a week. I do push, pull and legs. So push, posterior kind of session, you could call it. Whole back of the body basically. And then I do a rest day. And then I go back in, I train push again. So that's my second push day of the week. Then I train legs and then I train full upper body. And that's my 5 day split. 5 days on and 2 rest days throughout the entire week. I, again, would looking at rest days as just as important as your training days right now, where you're at. You don't want to be doing too many days consecutively without a rest day in between. All right, you want to give your body as much chance as it can to recover. The more you recover, the more you're going to grow. And understand that. I know we might want to be in the gym the whole time and getting as much out of it because we absolutely love it and we want to make as much progress as we can in as fast of a time frame as we can. But those rest days are when you're building muscle. Those rest days are when the progress is made from the training that we're doing. Okay, training intensity comes next. Okay, I would look at training intensity before I would look at how many sets and how many reps I should be doing. Okay, go in there and train as hard as you possibly can. Not stupidly, but train hard. Okay, push the body as hard as you can and start learning how to train to failure. Training to failure is a skill, and a skill you'll develop as the months and years go along. Again, I'm still, relatively new to this whole game, even though I've been doing it for a long time. I do obviously know how to train to failure at this point, but your ability with failure and your ability to take a set fully there will get more and more developed as you go along. So look at training as hard as you can. When we talk about training to failure, a lot of it is in the mind, but you should be failing on your last rep. You shouldn't be able to do your last rep, essentially, for failure. You know, you should be really struggling. When you're looking at the start of your set to the end of your set, the only thing that should be changing is the speed of that rep. Everything else should stay the exact same. The form should stay the exact same. The way everything is set up should stay the exact same. The speed you are able to complete the rep should just change and just should be a lot slower. And at the end of the day, when you know how to train to failure, you'll be failing at that last rep. And that will be true failure. Training volume then. How many sets, how many reps I should be doing. Again, when you're starting out, you're going to be able to grow off a little amount, but at the same time, you don't know how to train properly to failure. So we're looking for, volume there in between, where we can get enough from the training that we're doing, because we're not obviously training completely to failure, but also we're not doing too much, so we're absolutely battered and it's taken us too long to recover from. It's about finding a happy medium, okay? Anywhere between 2 and 4 sets for every exercise across the board is more than enough, all right? And understand, if you recover properly, you're going to be able to continue doing this the whole time, and you might look at it and think, I can do a little bit more here, and then add a little bit more in, you know what I mean? Or you might be on the other side of things, you might be like, fuck, I cannot recover from this at all. You might have to take a little bit away. The bigger exercises that we do are always going to be a little bit less. The smaller exercises, when we're looking at our body parts, like our arms, side delts, smaller exercises, smaller body parts, can take more volume, can take more frequency. So I'd be looking at getting them up 4 sets from the get-go and absolutely hammering them, and get as much progress out of it as you can from the get-go, okay? Then we look at rest days. As I said, get as many rest days in there as you can to get out of your training as best as possible. Get as much out of your training as best as possible. Recover from your training as best as possible. Obviously, the more days we can train, chances are the more progress you're going to make, but there needs to be, a balance there. You need to be able to get enough rest and enough recovery to be able to continue doing this and to be able to continue making progress, all right, and see progress happening through your physique, okay? Lagging body parts. I know when you're starting out, you might think that you have certain body parts there that you need to focus on. There's no need for it, okay? There's no body parts really on my physique at the moment after training for as long as I have that I need to focus on. I need to focus on the whole physique and bringing up the whole physique. I'm a long way away from focusing on just sole singular body parts and trying to bring them up, because they're lagging body parts. Every body part for me right now is lagging, and that's the way you need to think of it when you start off. Every body part needs to be treated the exact same, with the exact same intensity, possibly the exact same amount of frequency and volume, so you can bring up a nice overall rounded physique across the board, okay? Go in there and have fun and enjoy it, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Training is to be enjoyed, and training is fun. Going in the gym, whether it be with the lads, whether it be your missus, your fella, or by yourself, okay? There's nothing wrong with training by yourself. I absolutely love training on my own. Just go in there and enjoy it. That should be an enjoyable part of your day. We're planning on doing this for quite some time, all right? It needs to be something that we enjoy. And as I got back to at the very start, as I said, 3 main things. Enjoyment comes first. For you to be able to keep doing this for as long as you want to be able to do it for, enjoyment is the biggest part of it, okay? So have fun with your training, all right? That kind of brings training to a close for now. As time goes along, we'll go more and more into depth with it. But nutrition then, as I like to say, is that one thing that follows you around all day long, right? Training is just that one part of the day, whether that be an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, however long you might be in the gym for. It's that part of the day, okay? And then when it's done, it's done. Nutrition is from that first bite of food you take at the start of the day to that last bite of food you take at the end of the day, okay? We want to get this nutrition right, and it's probably the hardest thing for us to get right because it follows us around all day, okay? So we want to ideally set up our day that we can nail our nutrition, all right, and be ahead of ourselves. So we want to be organized with our nutrition once we have the plan in place, okay? So first and foremost, obviously it's the goal with what way we want our body composition to go, whether we're pushing up body weight or whether we're bringing body weight down by obviously building muscle tissue or losing fat. So we're deciding on that, whatever phase it is that you are in, whether that be pushing up or pulling down. We want to work out what food we need, okay? And a general rule of thumb with that, again, is working out how much protein, how much carbs, how much fats you need. It's absolutely different for every single person. There's no one size fits all when it comes to nutrition, only the general principles around it. With protein, I'd be looking at 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. If you're 200 pounds, I'd be looking at around 200 pounds. Now again, we're very new to this. If we're just starting out, work our way up to that. All right, everything that we're doing here, we're easing our way into it until we can maybe get to that level. If you've gone from eating like trace protein, no proper protein sources throughout the entire day, to go eating 200 grams of protein straight away, probably not going to have the best time with that. You're probably not going to be feeling the best from that as well. So work your way up. Start with 100 grams of protein. Couple of meals with meat throughout the day, maybe a bit of protein powder, then work your way up to 120, 150 grams, 180 grams, 200 grams. Okay, everything here we can build our way up to and get more and more out of every single time that we make that little bit of a change. Fats then, fats are more so for health more than anything, and good function as a whole, hormone function, and just keeping us, you know, alive and feeling good across the board, right? There's no specific number that you need to be looking at with fats. Anywhere, you know, 0.8 plus per kilo of body weight you could be looking at with fats. You find a number with fats, you can leave it there for the majority of the time. Okay, maybe sometimes when you're struggling with pushing calories up in a gaining phase, you can bring fats up that little bit. Struggling with bringing food down in a cutting phase, you can bring fats down nice and low, because obviously fats contain the most amount of calories out of our macros. But fats is that one there, we can set a number and kind of leave it there the whole time. So you might be setting your fat at 50 grams, 60 grams. With girls, most of the time I like to set it a little bit higher. With lads, we can go that a little bit lower. All right, hormones and what's going on the inside is really important for us here as well. So we want to focus on our health, all right, which we'll get into now in a minute as well. Carbohydrates then fall in after that, and carbohydrates is what's left over, you could say. So once we've found on any of the calculators online, right, how many calories do we need to be eating? We have our protein, we have our fat, carbs can fall in there and make up the rest of the calories, all right? And with our food, whether that is bulking, whether that's cutting, we want it to be in a position at the very start where we can progress that. Whether we need to be able to push food up for a long period of time to gain a serious amount of muscle, or whether we need to be able to have a place to come down with food if we're in a cutting phase, so we can continue losing body fat when the body starts to plateau. This game of bodybuilding and physique development is a game of the body adapting to the plan that you're on, whether that be training, and more so with nutrition. All right, things have to change when the body starts to plateau and progress starts to slow down, okay? And there will be stages where progress slows down a lot and you have to do more, and there will be stages where things run nice and smoothly, all right? And it's different for every plan that you're on and every phase that you're in also as well. So you want to build good habits around your nutrition from the get-go, and a lot of people, you know, have these set in place very easily, whether that be from just their nutrition habits growing up or their nutrition habits over the last couple of years. But I would get a good structure with meals throughout the entire day, you know, build these meals into your day and start out, you know, possibly with 4 meals a day. You might be eating 3 times right now, but we're doing training now, you know, we're doing something quite strenuous on the body. You could start looking at eating 4 meals a day, potentially 5 meals a day, you know, maybe 4 bigger meals and 1 smaller meal, or 3 bigger meals and 2 smaller meals throughout the entire day. One that's going to spike muscle protein synthesis consistently throughout the day. And 2, it's just going to be, you know, good, consistent habits and good, consistent appetite and hunger levels and digestion and all these small little variables across the board that we can get right now from the get-go, all right? Because why not? And it's going to make life a lot easier for you when you're not making these mistakes a couple of months down the line, and we're getting the most out of this at the initial stages and when we're just beginning. So I get a good structure with food in there. Again, it's different for everyone depending on what type of job you might be working, whether you're in school, whether you're in college, of how to set up my day. But set the day up with your food off the schedule that you have. More than likely you have a schedule right now of times you are in certain places and starting work or have your break or finish work, finish school, so you can put meals in on certain times and then put them in and do that consistently. Eat your meals consistently on those days every single day, all right? So with that then is a little bit of trial and error. Okay, with food sources especially, like, you know, when it comes to food sources, like, again, the healthier we can keep our diet, the better things are going to go. And of course, have that little bit of flexibility and those bits and bobs in there that we like to have ourselves. You know, we don't want to just completely go from eating randomly and eating whatever to all of a sudden just going eating 100% clean, you know, and 4 or 5 chicken and rice meals across the day. But just to give you a general example of what my diet looks like, all right, I'm on prep right now, of course. It was the exact same setup in my gaining phase. And again, at the weekend, I was going for a meal out or a takeaway as well. It's different. It depends what phase you're in. Right now, I'm done with cheap meals or takeaways, whatever you want to call them, off-plan meals. I just can't have them right now because there is no flexibility with the plan that I'm on because I'm prepping for the stage. But if you're in a gaining phase, you know, or you're in a diet that is progressing really well, and you know, you can fit these things in every once in a while. It doesn't have to be every single week. I mightn't recommend them every single week. It's all person dependent. What allows you to continue making progress is absolutely fine, and it's perfect. If you can continue still making progress by having meals out here and there, perfect. You don't need to change a thing. But what a general diet looks like, what my diet looks like with 5 meals every single day is oats in the morning. Again, thinking about budget here as well, you know, with clients, when we're on meal plans, you know, talking about budget, you know, how much are we going to be spending on food every single week as well, which is a total different video and talking about how expensive this game is as well. But looking at setting up the food, like meal 1 for me is protein oats. So same every single day. Okay, I have that structure there, I have that routine, nothing changes. Only the quantities need to change. So I have my protein oats with protein powder, my summer fruits, my frozen berries, and that's meal 1. Meal 2, I'm having chicken, rice and veg. Meal 3, I'm having chicken, rice and veg. Meal 4, I'm having mince, rice and veg. Meal 5, I'm having a bowl of oats. Again, that's the structure I'm running off at the moment myself. It's the easiest thing possible for me. There's no thought process behind it. You want to take away any of the extra energy or extra time that we need to be thinking about doing this, and we want to make it as easy as possible for us to get it done every single day. As easy as possible for us to adhere to. We can meal prep then, knowing that that's our food knowing that that's our food every single day. We can just prep that in advance, have that ready there for us. All we need to do is go to the fridge that morning, take out our meals, take them with us. Okay, I can have that food prepped and just take it all with me. Again, yeah, you are going to be eating a bit of cold food here and there, but if you want to make progress, you want to change, sometimes you're going to have to eat some cold meals. It's not all nice, fancy looking hot meals. There will be some cold meals out of lunch boxes here and there as we go. But just having that good setup with food and just having that good routine with food is going to set you up for success in the long run. Do you know what I mean? And again, with all those meals that I'm having, they're really simple. You know, there's no shit thrown in here and there. So when my coach Keen just makes an adjustment, bang, take away a little bit of rice. If you're in a gaining phase, bang, add in a little bit more rice, okay? In a gaining phase versus a cutting phase, we might have a little bit more flexibility with different food sources that we're having. Again, we want to make it as easy as possible for us to get food in. And then when we're in a cutting phase, we want to make it as easy as possible for us to adhere to that diet, which might mean for you, it is having a little bit of chocolate here and there. At the end of the day, you know, when cravings might be that little bit higher, but set the diet up for success, okay? Something that you can adhere to on a daily basis for as long as you need to adhere to that for the given phase that you might be in, okay? When it comes to supplementation around the food, they're supplements, okay? They're there to supplement the diet that we're already on. So my main focus with the diet, and when I'm setting someone up and setting their diet up, is to get as much from the diet that we can. So we want to be focusing on getting fruit and veg in consistently throughout the day, okay? We want to focus on micronutrients alongside our macronutrients, okay? If you've got a diet there which is just full of, you know, maybe just chicken and rice, fair enough, okay, and oats and stuff like that, you do want to be getting fruit in on top there, mixed in. You want to be getting veg in with those meals as well. So we're getting our micronutrients in. We can cover that side of that side of things as well, and make sure we're covered, you know, on the inside more than anything. More fiber going through the diet. You're going to have better digestion. All these small little things that are going to make life easier for you in the long run, make things easier to stick to because you're not going to run into that many issues. All right. When we're looking at supplementation, again, supplements can start getting expensive. The healthier our diet is, the less money we're going to have to spend on supplements. All right? Supplements are not magic, okay? And they're there to supplement. They're not there to fix anything really. They're there to just supplement and, you know, improve the diet that we're already on. The only supplements that I would be looking at getting to, you know, improve everything that we're doing at the moment, creatine monohydrate, okay? Incredible. You could take a gram per 10 kilos of body weight of that every single day. I know a lot of people tell you take 5 grams every single day. To get the most out of creatine, take 1 gram per 10 kilos of body weight. So if you're 90 kilos, take 9 grams. If you're 50 kilos, take 5 grams, okay? We could look then at taking omega-3s, okay? Good fatty acids from the omega-3s. We could look at taking, again, vitamin C, vitamin D and K2. We could look at taking magnesium. We could look at taking a multivitamin. But again, when you're looking at a multivitamin, it's there to aid on top of what we've done with our fruit and veg already. It's not there just because we're not eating any fruit and veg. And I know a lot of people do that. I would like you to get some fruit and some veg into the diet there as well, even though you mightn't like it that much, okay? You're probably an adult at this point, or think you might be. Fruit and veg is something that we should be taking into our diet, okay? Adding those supplements in along as we go, but there's no real major concern for them there when we have our diet on lock, okay? There's probably other supplements there that I'm not thinking of right now, but no need to stress about them, lad. Again, as I said, our diet is the most important thing there, first of all. Then we have recovery and sleep, okay? Sleep like it's your job, okay? Sleep like you're getting paid to do it. It's free. You're going to feel incredible from getting proper sleep and having proper sleep hygiene and proper, a proper sleep routine and being able to do that consistently. And again, you're going to make the most amount of progress from getting good, consistent sleep every single day, all right? And you're going to notice that, okay? Sometimes we can be like trying to get after it and, do as much as we possibly can. And it's something I've learned myself in the last number of months, because it's free, and it is that one thing that's going to allow us to make fucking good progress is recovering, all right? Recovering from our training, sleeping and me sitting here is when I'm recovering from my training sessions. It's not when I'm inside in the gym. This is where I'm building muscle, is just sitting here, letting the muscles build back up stronger and bigger than they were the last time, okay? Simple as. Even more so when I'm sleeping and the body is at full rest, okay? So getting good sleep, building a good sleep routine, and getting in as much as you possibly can on a daily basis is the best thing that you can possibly do. Get in as much as you can. And it's not this set rule of thumb of getting 8 hours every day. A lot of people don't work good off 8 hours. Again, it would be great to get 8 hours in. I feel best off between 6 and 7 hours. Okay, you might feel best off 9, 10 hours. Every single person is different. The amount of sleep someone can get is different as well. Okay, depending on how your life is set up and what commitments you have as well. But recover as much as we possibly can. Okay, more recovery, more progress. Expenditure then next. Okay, expenditure we can look at steps and cardio. All right, steps first and foremost. Steps is what you're doing on a daily basis. Right, people neglect steps, especially in a bulking phase. Okay, cutting phase, we're more on top of it. We're trying to burn fat. We're keep getting our 10,000, however many steps in every single day. Steps, we can get lazy in the bulk. And it's one thing that I know people will neglect, but don't neglect your steps. They're the easiest thing to do. They're very low impact. They're not going to put any demand on the body. They're not going to wreck you, and they're not going to tire you out that much unless you're doing a stupid amount of them. But what steps are going to do is, if you're struggling to eat, they're going to really help with your appetite. They're going to really help with your digestion. Going for a couple of steps after every meal as well is super, super good for digestion and getting that, that gut moving nicely and GI function. But getting steps in is going to be great for keeping you fit, okay? Keeping body composition in a good spot, because the more calories you're burning, okay, the more calories you're taking in. Again, you want to have a good balance there. You don't want to be eating too much and not moving at all. You're just going to get fat. Okay, and that brings me back to what we'll wrap this up with the different phases that we're in. But it's going to keep you fit. The fitter you are, the better you're going to be able to perform in the gym. Okay, and think about that. Don't get lazy with steps. You'll notice when you start to get lazy. Apologies, I think I was talking for longer than I should have been. The camera cut off, but you'll notice when you start to get that little bit lazier, because obviously you won't be able to, do as much in the gym. And you won't be as efficient as you possibly could be. Cardio then, on the other hand, again, something that we always think about in terms of cutting, but I would also look to have a little bit of cardio every single week. Nothing major, nothing that's going to, take us out of the surplus in a bulking phase, but having a little bit of cardio in there to think about, again, the insides of us, all right? During my last bulking phase, and cardio was still in there every single week, just to make sure that body composition was staying in a relatively good spot and body fat wasn't going up too high as food started to go up that little bit higher. So just take that into account as well. Obviously in a cutting phase, we're going to be having cardio in there, and that's going to be getting progressively more and more as the weeks go along, as we get deeper into the diet. As a general rule of thumb, starting out a diet, it's different for every single person. You might start out with 3 20-minute cardio sessions. In a gaining phase, you might keep in 3 20-minute cardio sessions just for that, bit of health. In a cutting phase, then you might be adding in more days. You might be adding in 10 minutes to each session as the weeks go along, and slowly that gets more and more progressive. All right. So, cardio steps, training, nutrition, recovery, expenditure, nutrition, recovery, life. Okay, I have life written down here. Everything that we're doing here with bodybuilding is something that we want to just take into our life and fit into our lifestyle to make our lifestyle better and make our life better and make it more enjoyable. Okay, not for our life to fit around this. Okay, we want this to fit into our lifestyle and bring it up here. That's what I say to people who are looking to come on for coaching. I'm here to, again, put all this into these little pockets of time and everything that you have, and work out everything that's going to be going on here to make life better. All right, and allow you to get more out of it and be happier with everything that's going on. And because that's why you're here watching this, is because you want to improve everything that you're doing, and hopefully I've been able to help you along the way with that little bit more. Put that in there and make sure you enjoy it. Okay, set your day up to enjoy. Okay, set your day up something that you can sustain, something that's enjoyable, something that you can adhere to consistently. As I said, those 3 main parts to the whole process, as I said at the very beginning. And going back to the very beginning again, this is a game of longevity, bodybuilding. So if we're starting out, we want to start nice and slow and get the most amount out of doing the least. All right, if we're in a bulking phase and we're going into a bulk, okay, get the most amount of muscle built, get the most amount of progress done from eating as little food as needs be, just to have you in that surplus where weight is going on nice and slowly. You're building a nice little bit of size at the rate that you want to be gaining it. When progress starts to stall, we add in a little bit more food, nothing major. Keep progress moving for that little bit longer. Keep body fat levels at a nice level, so we're not getting too fat. In a cutting phase, again, want to start that diet on as high as much food, as high as possible calories as we can, so that we can progressively bring those calories down as our body starts to plateau and slows down, burning fat. So we're not absolutely starving ourselves, and we can make it as easy as possible for us. Looking at cardio, bringing cardio up nice and slowly in a diet, so we have loads more room to play with as the body starts to slow down. All these different things take time to learn, but you have to be like a sponge, and again, keep it simple. Keep it as simple as you possibly can to be able to adhere to it. When you start getting into all these nitty-gritty things and start making it too complicated, it becomes too hard to stick to. It's a very simple game at the very beginning, getting into it, and it's a very simple game throughout the entirety of it if you keep it that way. But the most important thing, coming back to the start, is to enjoy it, make it sustainable, and make it something that you can adhere to on a daily basis, and take it one day at a time. If you take it one day at a time and nail everything that you need to do today, do the same again tomorrow. Rinse that for 7 days. Okay, did that work? Did that get the return that I wanted? Did that bring the results that I wanted that week? And again, a week is a short amount of time. Give it a month. Okay, did what I do for that month bring the results that I wanted to see? No? Okay, we might need to change little things here. We might need to look at what we're doing with training. We might need to look at our food setup. If we're doing enough expenditure, if I'm sleeping, am I sleeping enough? Am I recovering enough? Okay, made those couple of changes, bang, we start to see a little bit more progress. Okay, very, very simple. If things are moving smoothly, don't change a single thing. Okay, sometimes we might be a little bit too quick and jump the gun on making an adjustment because we're just making an adjustment for the sake of it. If there's no need to make an adjustment, great. The current plan is working exactly the way we want it to be. Okay, I hope this helped a small little bit. I hope you took something from it. If you did, drop the video a like, comment down below if there's anything that you want to see as these videos progress. Subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. Anyone who does subscribe, it does mean the world. And if there is any more help that I can give you, coaching inquiry link is in the description below if you want to take it to the next level and jump on board with my coaching. As I said, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been coaching for quite some time now as well. I've made all the mistakes. Coaching is there to allow you to fast track and not make those mistakes that I've done over the last number of years.